There once was a time when honor meant something in Rome. In this Rome, I no longer believe that exists. We must find it.
That is Paul Mescal starring as Lucius in last year's hit Gladiator 2, a follow-up to the original Oscar-winning movie 25 years ago. That sequel made nearly $500 million at the box office and cemented Mescal's status as a leading man in Hollywood. The native of Maynooth, Ireland, who had his eye on a career in sports before acting intervened, burst onto the scene in 2020 while starring in the pandemic favorite series Normal People. The road since has included an Oscar nomination for Best Actor, a hosting gig on Saturday Night Live, and now a performance already generating awards talk as a young Latin tutor on his way to global fame named William Shakespeare. Paul and I got together in New York the other day for a Sunday Sitdown.
In just 5 years, Paul Mescal has gone from intimate romantic dramas
I think it's pretty obvious I don't want you to leave.
to the roar of the Roman Colosseum, taking his place as one of the most in-demand young actors in Hollywood.
To have that sharp ascent and kind of be holding on for dear life, but to have friends who've shared that experience, it makes the kind of ridiculousness of what my life seems from the outside make more sense.
That ascent continues with Mescal's latest ambitious role as Shakespeare in the new movie Hamnet.
We are arrant knaves all, believe none of us.
I'm just curious how you approached this version of William Shakespeare. You're not trying to capture his entire life and career, you're capturing a moment in time. So how did you look at this as an actor?
I could relate to that, the concept of feeling like you have to express something, but you're not aware of like your own myth yet. Like Shakespeare doesn't know that we're going to be sitting here talking about him 400 years later. He's just somebody who's a compulsion to write and tell stories, and I feel connected to him in terms of wanting to communicate something about the world that we live in.
The film tells the fictionalized story of the greatest tragedy of Shakespeare's own life, the death of his young son, Hamnet.
We know the work,
Yeah.
which is like handed down on stone tablets at
Exactly.
this point, but we don't really think a lot about the inspiration for the work.
We take his brilliance for granted, but what I don't think we focus on is the kind of bravery that it takes to take an incredibly painful period in someone's life and hand it over to an audience for public consumption. He's shaped this love and grief and not made it just about this pain of losing a son, but kind of making it this temple, this place that people can visit his son and his love for his son and his wife's love for his son, and it's like that's actually his brilliance to me.
The film is beautiful, but it's also devastating, you know?
It's obviously a part of the film that audiences are connecting with. All of the loss that these characters feel can only be serviced if you really feel this love and commitment and loyalty.
Will you be brave?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you be brave?
Yes.
Will you be brave?
Yes! Yes, I'll be brave!
It's really quite sweepingly romantic, like gorgeous and lush, so that like the loss of a son is only as painful in relation to what you've invested at the beginning.
That's right.
And I think that both those things are crucially important, and hopefully the catharsis that the audience feels at the end.
The 29-year-old Mescal was born and raised just outside of Dublin, the oldest of three. He was a star of Gaelic football before he ever stepped on a stage.
So at what point does performance and theater come into the picture?
We did a school musical. I was 16 and I was just totally bitten by the bug. The school that I went to was public school, like wasn't like a fancy school, but they had this policy where every student, whether you were sporty or had no interest in musical theatre, you had to audition. It does kind of scare me that had I gone to a different school, I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
Was this the big Phantom performance?
This was the big Phantom performance. And I was like, oh, this feeling is extraordinary. My parents actually met on stage. I feel like being there makes sense to me or something, you know.
And you felt it first that night. That's amazing.
I think I'm very much still chasing that night when I was 16.
Mescal followed that feeling to drama school, acting in theaters across Ireland and England. His big break came in 2020 with the BBC miniseries Normal People, which became a pandemic hit, thrusting the young actor to stardom.
I don't think I'm processing the change all that well.
It's probably understandably intoxicating at first, the attention, and then I guess at some point you realize, oh, I need to pull this back a little bit if I'm going to have a normal life.
It did destabilize me for a bit, I suppose. Well, I'm kind of glad it did, because I feel like if it didn't, I'd be a robot.
Mescal went on to earn an Oscar nomination for his leading role in the 2022 film After Sun.
Never felt like I really did belong there.
2 years later, he stepped into the arena with Denzel Washington in Ridley Scott's blockbuster Gladiator 2.
Why did you let him live?
You bought a gladiator, not a slave.
What did you learn from that experience, just being nose to nose with one of the greats?
Denzel and Ridley, they're on Mount Rushmore of cinema. And Denzel was just such a force to be opposite and to learn from. They took away the stigma of like, oh, you're working with Ridley and Denzel. It's like you're going to work with colleagues who care deeply about what we're making.
With Shakespeare on his resume, Mescal now is taking on another iconic English artist, Sir Paul McCartney, in a 4-part Beatles biopic due out in 2028.
From Shakespeare to McCartney, you're going big here. How has it been to step into McCartney's shoes?
It's a real privilege. I've got to know him and his family a little bit, and they've been so generous. The idea of us kind of really getting into the fore of their lives, it's a really honest and exciting endeavor that we're stepping into, and it's keeping our brains and fingers very active.
Well, I saw the way you just held the guitar there, because one of the things that comes with playing Paul McCartney is playing left-handed.
Yes.
You're not a lefty, I take it. So you're actually learning how to play left-handed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Oh, there was a couple of dark months at the start of the year where I thought it was never going to happen, but it's happening, and I'm really proud with where we've gotten to with it.
Mescal adapting to that role and coming to terms with the one he now inhabits as a bona fide Hollywood star.
Regardless of how known you are in like public spheres, you can live the life that you want to live if you don't operate just purely from a sense of fear. I live in London now, and the people look after you. They don't want to be invasive. Of course, that happens, but life feels a little bit more manageable now.
Hamnet is in select theaters now and opens nationwide this Friday, December 5th. Our big thanks to the Elgin for hosting our conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Sitdown podcast to hear the full extended interview with Paul Mescal, including his thoughts on the stunning performance in Hamnet of his co-star Jessie Buckley. You can find our conversation wherever you get your podcasts, or just scan that QR code right there on the screen.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.